Hey YouTube, it's Red Flick Inc. back with another update. It's really late. It's like 2 in the morning right now. Hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. It's a little bit loud. I don't have too many movies that I bought recently. I bought 2 off of Amazon, so I'm going to show them real quick. And also going to talk about something else that I want to talk about. So yeah, it's a very small update, but I'll try to make the video a little bit longer and make it worth watching by talking about something else real quick. I recently picked up 2 movies from Amazon that I should have had a long time ago. I don't know why it took me so long to get these movies, but I got them now, so I guess that's what matters. The first one is the original Phantasm, and this is the Anchor Bay collection. I just got this a few days ago. I've seen the movie a bunch of times. It's definitely one of my favorite horror movies and one of the best horror franchises. I have part 2 also, but it's like in a quadruple feature, so I'll probably double dip and get the original copy of that movie too. I know it's pretty hard to find though. But anyway, I bought this from Amazon, and the only hang up is it's supposed to come, I could have sworn it was supposed to come with like a special slip sleeve or case or whatever that was like a cool graphic on the front, but it didn't come with that. But you know, it's still a good pickup. You know, it's a good movie to add to your collection. So I got that, and then I also got another movie that I should have had. I do have this one. It's in another quadruple feature, but it doesn't even have its own disc, and it's a good enough movie to where I wanted to just own, you know, a solo copy of it. And it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the original, not the remake. This is the gruesome edition, the edition that I'm assuming every person has of the movie. You know, this is a little slipcase. See, this is what I wanted for the Phantasm movie, like a little slipcase like this. I don't know why, it doesn't really make that big of a difference, I guess. Some people say it's to keep the dust off of it, but I just really like them. But anyway, yeah, I already own this movie in a quadruple feature, but I decided to pick it up. It was really cheap. I bought it used. A lot of people don't like this one. I actually prefer, you know, shoot me or whatever you want to do, but I actually prefer this one to the original, because the original, to me, it took me a while to watch the original. I didn't watch the original for a while, and when I finally did, I was actually pretty disappointed. The lack of gore, you know, I always tell people, the argument I always have is like, you can imagine never seeing horror films. Imagine you're a person that's never seen horror films, and then I tell you, yo, there's this movie you gotta see called Halloween. You know, what would you think when I say that? Oh, it's a horror movie based on Halloween, but you wouldn't know anything about it. But then when I tell you, oh, there's this horror movie you gotta see called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just the name alone, you're gonna think, holy shit, this movie must have a lot of gore, and it's gonna be really scary and bloody. You might have to look away a few times during the movie, and then you watch it, and I'm talking about the original, and there's no gore. There's really not no gore. The setting is disturbing, and it's still a pretty decent movie, but this one actually has more gore. And it's way different. The original one was like really dark, and it was a 70s movie when there wasn't very much horror comedy at all. And this is from the 80s. This is from 86. So this is when the era of, you know, horror comedy. So there's some funny parts in this movie, but it's still a horror movie. And it's got more gore. Like I said, I actually prefer it over the original. A lot of people wouldn't agree with me, but I do. So yeah, those are my 2 pickups: Phantasm and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was 1 second. I actually just got back from the movie theaters. I just saw The Cabin in the Woods, or Cabin in the Woods. I loved it. I don't know if anybody else has done a review on this movie yet, but I loved it. It's something. The only thing I could say is, let's see, I can't kill it. I don't want to kill it for you. The trailer kind of led me, like, I already kind of knew from seeing the trailer what was going to happen, and then the fact that they say in the trailer, when's the last time you've been surprised by a horror movie? So you know it's going to be like a twist. And there is a twist, but there's like multiple twists, and the one in the end, whatever, I could care less about it. But I thought the idea of this movie, the plot, was really original. It's not for somebody to see as their first horror film. You wouldn't really understand it, you wouldn't appreciate it much. The people that are going to really appreciate this movie are fans of horror films and people that understand it, because in this movie they poke fun at horror movies, and they kind of show aspects of all horror movies. So it's kind of a little bit of everything for everybody. You know, they have everything in this movie. I don't want to kill too much, but if you've seen the trailer or not, the plot is, you know, like always 5, you know, people in their 20s or something. They go into a cabin in the woods, and stuff ensues. You know, people start dying and stuff like that. There's not too much I can explain about, but I think the movie was great. I think they did a really good job. The effects were good. The zombies in the movie looked amazing. I love the way the zombies look. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I had really low expectations. Maybe that's one of the reasons I left really pleased, was because I had very low expectations about this movie, because all the other horror movies I've seen lately in theaters, The Devil Inside, Woman in Black, the Paranormal Activity 3 and all that, I didn't like those very much at all. I tried to get into them, but I did not like them. And I thought this movie, Cabin in the Woods, which I wasn't even going to see, I was going to see something else, and then the times were kind of messed up, so I decided to see this instead, and I loved it. So if you're a horror fan and you want to see a movie, you know, that's gonna, you know, it's pretty original, and it's got good gore, good blood, and it just really, you would appreciate it. If you're a real horror fan, you would appreciate this movie. So I'm telling you, horror fans, to go watch Cabin in the Woods. There's gonna probably be some people that hate it. It doesn't really compare to old school horror movies, but you know, no horror movie these days does. But as far as horror movies these days, I think this is the best one I've seen in a while. It's a horror comedy, which I love, so it was right down my alley. So go check out Cabin in the Woods. That pretty much ends the update. Pick these two up and saw Cabin in the Woods, so go see Cabin in the Woods. It's really good. I don't want to kill it for you though.